Marvel. Just the name alone brings to mind iconic characters, epic battles, and a universe so vast, it's hard to believe it all started with a comic book. But Marvel's journey to becoming the entertainment giant it is today wasn't always filled with success and blockbuster movies. It's a story of creativity, resilience, and a few twists and turns that no one could have predicted. So, how did Marvel go from a struggling comic book publisher to the powerhouse behind the most successful movie franchise in history? Let's dive into the rise and evolution of Marvel, exploring its humble beginnings, its near downfall, and the cinematic universe that changed the face of entertainment. The origins of Marvel. To truly appreciate Marvel's success, we need to go back to the very beginning. In 1939, a small publishing house named Timely Publications was established. It was here that the seeds of what would eventually become Marvel Comics were planted. The world was a different place back then. World War II was on the horizon, and comic books were a new and exciting medium. Timely's first comic book, Marvel Comics 1, introduced readers to characters like the Human Torch and Namor the Submariner, who were unlike anything seen before. These heroes weren't perfect. They had their own struggles and flaws, something that would become a defining feature of Marvel's storytelling. As the years went by, Timely Publications morphed into Atlas Comics, producing a variety of genres beyond just superhero tales. However, the comic book industry was facing challenges, and by the 1950s, the superhero genre was in decline. It was during this time of uncertainty that a young writer named Stan Lee started working at the company. Stan, along with artists like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, would go on to revolutionize the comic book industry. In 1961, the company rebranded itself as Marvel Comics, and this marked the beginning of a new era. The first issue of The Fantastic Four, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, was a game changer. The Fantastic Four were flawed, bickering, and very human. They faced personal challenges, not just villains. This human element resonated with readers, and the comic was a hit. Marvel quickly followed up with more iconic characters: Spider-Man, the X-Men, the Hulk, all of whom became instant sensations. These characters weren't just heroes, they were people with everyday problems, making them relatable to readers of all ages. The Silver Age and Marvel's ascent. The 1960s and 70s were an exciting time for Marvel, often referred to as the Silver Age of comics. This was a period of rapid growth and innovation for the company. Stan Lee, working closely with legendary artists like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko, crafted stories that were more than just action-packed adventures. They were complex, multi-layered narratives that addressed social issues, explored deep philosophical questions, and reflected the changing landscape of American society. Characters like Iron Man, created in 1963, symbolize the modern age of technology and the complexities of power and responsibility. Meanwhile, Thor brought mythology into the mix, blending ancient legends with modern storytelling. The X-Men, introduced in 1963, tackled issues of prejudice and discrimination, resonating with readers during a time of social upheaval. These stories weren't just entertaining, they were thought-provoking, challenging readers to see the world in new ways. The interconnectedness of Marvel's universe was another groundbreaking element. Unlike other comic book companies, where characters existed in separate worlds, Marvel's heroes and villains all lived in the same universe. This meant that Spider-Man could swing by the Baxter Building to visit the Fantastic Four, or that the Hulk might clash with Iron Man. This shared universe created a sense of continuity and depth that was unparalleled in the industry. It allowed for epic crossover events, where multiple heroes teamed up to face world-threatening dangers, a concept that would later become the foundation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. During this period, Marvel's influence grew beyond just comic books. The company began to expand into other forms of media, including animated television shows and merchandise. The characters of Marvel were becoming household names, and the brand was establishing itself as a major player in the entertainment industry. The challenges and transformations. Despite its success, Marvel faced significant challenges in the 1980s and 90s. The comic book industry was undergoing a period of volatility, with a boom and bust cycle that left many companies struggling to stay afloat. Marvel, too, was caught up in the frenzy, overextending itself in an attempt to capitalize on the booming market. The company expanded into trading cards, toys, and even launched its own distribution network, but this aggressive growth strategy led to financial strain. The comic book speculator market, where collectors bought comics in hopes of reselling them at a higher value, also contributed to Marvel's woes. When this market collapsed in the mid-90s, it took a heavy toll on the industry. Marvel was forced to declare bankruptcy in 1996, a shocking turn of events for a company that had once dominated the industry. This period was a dark time for Marvel, as it struggled to find its footing in a rapidly changing market. In an effort to stay afloat, Marvel began licensing its characters to film studios. This led to the production of movies like Blade, 1998, X-Men, 2000, and Spider-Man, 2002, which were successful and introduced Marvel characters to a new generation. However, Marvel wasn't fully in control of these films, and while they were hits, the company was still in financial turmoil. The success of these movies showed that there was a huge appetite for Marvel's characters on the big screen, but Marvel needed to find a way to regain control of its destiny. In 2005, Marvel Studios was formed with a bold new vision: to produce films independently, using their own characters. This was a risky move, especially considering the company's recent financial struggles. But it was a risk Marvel had to take if it wanted to control its future. The idea was to create a series of interconnected films that would build towards something larger, a shared cinematic universe, much like the interconnected stories in the comics. This was a revolutionary concept in Hollywood, and it set the stage for what would become one of the most successful film franchises in history: the birth of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU. Everything changed in 2008 with the release of Iron Man. Directed by Jon Favreau and starring Robert Downey Jr., the film was a gamble for Marvel Studios. Iron Man wasn't as well known as characters like Spider-Man or the X-Men, and many questioned whether the movie would resonate with audiences. But Marvel had a secret weapon. Robert Downey Jr. brought a charm and wit to the character that captivated viewers, making Iron Man an instant hit. Iron Man wasn't just a successful movie, it was the beginning of something much bigger. For the first time, audiences were introduced to the concept of a shared cinematic universe, with interconnected storylines and characters that would come together in future films. This was something that had never been done on this scale in Hollywood, and it changed the game for the entire film industry. The success of Iron Man proved that Marvel's gamble had paid off, and the studio quickly moved forward with plans to expand the MCU. Over the next several years, Marvel Studios released a series of films that would build towards the Avengers in 2012. This film was a culmination of years of planning and storytelling, bringing together characters from different films into one epic team-up. The Avengers was a cultural phenomenon, breaking box office records and proving that audiences were hungry for this kind of interconnected storytelling. It wasn't just a movie, it was an event, one that solidified Marvel's place at the top of the entertainment world. The success of the Avengers set the stage for even more ambitious storytelling. Marvel Studios began to explore new characters and storylines, expanding the MCU into a vast and diverse universe. Films like Guardians of the Galaxy introduced audiences to lesser-known characters, while Black Panther and Captain Marvel broke new ground in terms of representation and diversity. The MCU wasn't just about superheroes, it was about telling stories that resonated with people from all walks of life. Marvel's impact and legacy. Today, Marvel is more than just a comic book company or a film studio. It's a cultural phenomenon that has left an indelible mark on the world. The MCU has redefined what a blockbuster franchise can be, showing that with the right vision and execution, it's possible to create a series of films that are interconnected yet each unique in their own way. Marvel's success has inspired other studios to create their own cinematic universes, though none have quite matched the scale or success of the MCU. But Marvel's impact goes beyond just the movies. The company has also been a trailblazer in terms of representation and diversity. Characters like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and the newly introduced Shang-Chi have brought more inclusivity to the superhero genre, reflecting the diversity of Marvel's audience. These films have not only entertained but also sparked important conversations about representation in media. As the MCU continues to evolve, it's clear that Marvel's influence extends far beyond the silver screen. The company has become a symbol of innovation, not just in how stories are told, but in how they connect with audiences on a deeper level. The success of films like Black Panther wasn't just about box office numbers, it was about cultural impact. Black Panther became a movement, celebrating African culture and providing a powerful message of empowerment. It showed that superhero films could be more than just entertainment. They could be vehicles for meaningful conversations about race, identity, and the world we live in. Similarly, Captain Marvel broke new ground as Marvel's first female-led superhero film. It was a testament to Marvel's commitment to evolving with the times and ensuring that everyone sees themselves represented on screen. The introduction of Shang-Chi in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings further emphasized Marvel's dedication to diversity and representation, resonating deeply with Asian and Asian American audiences around the world. Beyond the films, Marvel's impact is felt across various media. The success of the MCU has led to a wave of television shows, streaming series, and even animated projects that continue to expand the Marvel universe. Shows like WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki have brought the same level of storytelling and character development to the small screen, offering fans a deeper dive into the lives of their favorite characters. Marvel's ability to seamlessly integrate these shows into the larger MCU narrative has set a new standard for how interconnected storytelling can be done across different platforms. Marvel's legacy is also evident in the way it has inspired a new generation of creators. The MCU has shown that comic book stories can be sophisticated, nuanced, and emotionally resonant. It has paved the way for other studios to explore their own comic book adaptations, though few have been able to replicate the unique formula that has made Marvel so successful. The influence of Marvel's storytelling can be seen in how other genres and mediums have started to embrace interconnected narratives and complex character arcs. Another key aspect of Marvel's impact is its relationship with its fans. Marvel has built a community around its stories, where fans feel connected not just to the characters, but to each other. The excitement surrounding each new film release, the theories and discussions that take place online, and the collective experience of watching these movies in theaters have all contributed to a sense of belonging among Marvel fans. Marvel has created a shared cultural experience, one that transcends age, race, and nationality. As we look to the future, Marvel shows no signs of slowing down. The MCU continues to grow, with new phases, new characters, and new stories on the horizon. The upcoming slate of films and series promises to push the boundaries of what we've come to expect from Marvel, exploring new genres, new ideas, and new ways of telling stories. Whether it's through epic team-ups, character-driven dramas, or genre-bending narratives, Marvel remains at the forefront of pop culture, constantly reinventing itself while staying true to the core values that have defined it from the start. Outro. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the history of Marvel. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. And tell us, who's your favorite Marvel character? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep dreaming big and remember, with great power comes great responsibility.